just a very deserving turnout. We're here to celebrate my mom, a woman known to many as a daughter, a sister, teacher, a friend, a role model, mentor, miracle worker, board member, the hostess with the mostest, gardener, singer, artist, a Christian, a grand, wife, my mom. You know, I've had the great pleasure over the past week to speak with hundreds of people and read all the Facebook messages, and there's been one common refrain for the whole thing, and that's, your mom was the kindest, sweetest person I've ever known. And that's true. She cultivated her garden of love and kindness because that was true of her core. There were no facades, no airs. She lived kindness. She modeled love. She demonstrated patience for just shy of 76 years. Tomorrow would have been her birthday. She worked as a teacher, but it was more than a job. It was her. God had a plan for Mom. He always does. And his plan for Mom was to be that vessel of love and kindness so that we could learn not just from her words, but from her actions. Mom grew up in Bowling Green, one of 8 children. She often remarked when director children entered the room, people would stop and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. At the time, like most kids, she found it embarrassing. But like most adults, later, she found it endearing. She was the oldest daughter, and with that, she helped raise her younger siblings. And they gave her great mom training, following what grandmother said, pretty is as pretty does. She went on to college at Western and graduated with honors. However, her greatest honor was graduating with her mom, our grandmother. They both went into teaching. One of my favorite memories as a child was going to grandmother's room at Bristow and watch them exchange ideas about the latest bulletin board or lesson plans or whatever the case may be. It was like 2 masters of their craft shaping the agenda to help America's future. While grandmother modeled care, granddaddy modeled that steady resolve, showing up day in, day out to care and provide for a family of 10 without fuss, a tradition that Mom carried on throughout her life. She taught for 27 years in Glasgow, Danville, and influenced hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. We lived in Glasgow on Leslie Avenue. When I was 10, we left and came to Danville, and I lost touch with a lot of those friends. But one of my favorite memories was when I would go off to a college party in Western or UK, and I'd run into somebody, and they would say, your mom was my favorite teacher. I got that more times than you can remember. That's Mom. Mom gave selflessly of herself, whether it was hosting wedding showers for nieces and nephews or friends, bringing that casserole to help Aunt Judy live in the snow. She was so proud of Dwayne and Ray and how they worked with their daddy, laughing at Sally's antics, and Lisa, best laugh in the business. Just Nancy, she's a smart one, Later on in her life, she was called to best friends, and she was the one they called to calm everyone down. And that was a great final chapter of her life. It truly was a great life, as Mom said. And I'd like to thank those people, those best friends, Elena, Lana, Sophia, Arlene, and Becky, and all the best friends. In 2012, she took on her new and most favorite role, Grand. Olivia, Henry, Rose, Tally. That was the happiest day of her life. She saw Olivia, when Olivia was born, she burst with excitement when you were born, Olivia. You're pretty just like her in the way you teach your cousins. The straight grand lives on in you. Henry, your compassion, your care is the most wonderful trait. That's a grand trait that lives on with you. Rose, I don't know if reading is hereditary or genetic, but you can tell me. Your grandmother read just like you. That will always live with you. Tally, our sweet Tally. You were the star that reigns every day. Your infectious enthusiasm enthusiasm always brought a smile to her face because you have the confidence that Granny didn't have, little girl. She put that in you. Now, Granny's gone. She might not be with us, but here's a little secret. She's always with you in your hearts. You can always talk to her, ask for advice. Just talk to her in your prayers. Now, she's not with us in one of Granny's great trade, but she was a great cook. So if you want those biscuits and gravy, ask your dad. He's pretty good at that. That's Granny. Want a sweet treat? I'm here. And Sid's good too. We got you covered. One of Granny's great miracles was she actually taught Granddad to cook. But I would get one of Granny's hugs from Granddad. He did it pretty good. Maybe not as good as her. So ask Granddad for one of Granny's hugs. And money. Jenny, you were the daughter she always wanted. Thank you for being so giving of yourself and me those stories of my mom talking with you when your mom passed. We now share that unenviable but inevitable bond. The way you embraced mom and she embraced you warms my heart. That emotional connection was beautiful to watch. Your heart-to-heart conversations, the way you looked to her for advice, even your love of Mackenzie Childs. I'll be forever grateful for your advice on the obituary. You made it more perfect, just like you made our family more perfect. I see Mom in you. Now, while Jenny was the bonus daughter, and Lorraine was your bonus sister, she loved you. Watching you together was always an experience. Mom, ever the rule follower, you the rule breaker. You went together like peanut butter and jelly. Your trips to DC, our trips to Sea Rock City, memories that would be etched in my mind until the end of time. Oh, Lorraine, you're terrible. She always say, because you said something that she was too polite to say. Still brings a smile on my face. Our times with you were just the best. But you people have a sister-in-law, but none of them like you. Thank you for caring for her, but let's be honest, you were lucky. Growing up with two brothers, you needed a sister. And Susan. You said she wasn't only your sister, but she was your best friend. That feeling was mutual. She was so proud of you. And tell everyone. This is Susan. Now she's the president of the Garden Club of Kentucky. Over and over and over again. It's kind of annoying, actually. Thank you, and Uncle Robert, for always being there for Mom. You're always just 2.5 hours away. We'll be there whenever you need me. That sisterly bond is incredible because it went both ways. I was lucky to have a front row seat around my life. John, you were the baby. You were her favorite. I was often envious. In a good way, the way you two connected. I think you're probably the only one person in the world to bond with Mom over Mariah Carey and ODB on the way to school. She's in heaven. She loved to take care of you, and well, you loved to be taken care of. One of the most disappointed I've seen Mom and me was when I refused to take you a plate that she prepared. Billy needs to eat. Mom, he's 24 years old. And he's currently working at a pizza place. That didn't matter. You needed that meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and she took it on down to you. Of course she did. That care that she showed lives in you. Dad, she was the love of your life. You were the love of hers. The way you took care of her over her final years is the epitome of love. You told me you took a vow and you intended to live up to it. Boy, you did. But that didn't come by accident. Of course, it's because of love, but I also believe you saw in Mom what she modeled for us for 56 years. You saw her care, her quiet sense of duty, and her work ethic. You blew us all away with your efforts. While I know you said I just treated her like I wanted to be me treated. I wanted you to know how much you impressed me. You gave us many more weeks, months, years, more importantly, many more memories. That's your legacy. That's Mom. As for me, I've got a lot of great memories. You've probably seen some of the Halloween costumes. ET1 was the best. And Stitched, amazing. Toolbox was the worst. What's the toolbox, you might ask? The toolbox is a box with a bunch of hooks and a bunch of tools hanging from them that fall off at about every 10 feet that you walk. You can't pick it up because you're covered in this big old box. It just falls off more and more tools. I'm sure I looked cute. Birthday parties. You'll see Kermit the Frog, chocolate chip cupcakes, strawberry meringue cakes. That was the best. I just wanted to party at McDonald's. Mom, do better, because she always does. I learned a lot about Mom through Grace in the difficult times. You know, her, how she handled tough times and tough people is something that I will always take with me throughout my life, because I go through tough times, tough people. Pretty is, pretty does. Learned about compassion, forgiveness. Some of you in this room will know about the letter. Yes, John and I had a good time at a football game one time. Mom sent us a letter admonishing us, and what she really probably should have done is given us a swift kick in the butt. That was Mom's way. Really, the day started off so perfect. We had a beautiful tailgate. We loved meeting all of your friends. The food was delicious, and so on and so forth, before she dropped the hammer. That's Mom. The letter. You know, towards the end of her life, I got to take her to best friends a lot. Not as much as Dad and John. Those are some of my favorite times. At the beginning, you know, we listened to music and we talked a lot, and we'd hear her perseverate on a variety of topics. And it was hilarious. I'll share them with you if you have memories. But she would always, every teacher, as we're going up to best friends, you know, it's just right here on the right. It's Mom, it's Mom. And her face would light up because that was her favorite chapter. As the times passed, and just about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, those conversations, they were more one way and not two ways. She would still get excited when we get to best friends. One day, 2 months ago, the student decided to ask the teacher, Mom, you know where we're going? We would come over the hill to best friends, and she lit up as she always does. Yes, I do.